Hey, good evening, Maria, back with another video. It is 9:35 p.m. It is September 29th, Thursday evening. So I decided to come on here and make a video because I'm getting ready for bed. And I just felt like it's been a few days since I made a video, so I just thought I'd make another one. Um, you'll notice that you can't see me in this video, and there's no, what do you call it, picture to focus on. It's a completely blank screen. Sometimes, I just don't feel like making a PowerPoint video or sitting in front of the camera or whatever, So I'm just kind of talking today. So anyway, I was thinking about how, I'm glad that I made these videos, and I'm glad that I'm just sad that it took like um, and I think about it, I was making videos since 2015 on this particular channel. This channel has been in existence since September of 2015. That was 2 years after I left the farmer's place, and then I started coming to the realization that I was being, stalked, and that my employment was being manipulated and all this other stuff. That's when I started realizing and looking back on all the years before all of that and putting it all together. So now I'm making these videos, and I'm kind of, the more I think about it, like I've been like walking around my house, like I pace around a lot, right? Because it helps me think, and I think it's good when people don't have to sit in one spot for long periods of time. They want to move around, and it does. It helps them focus. Now, I can't say everyone, okay, but some people, they need to have a little bit of more activity, so they kind of move around a little bit. And in this case, I pace around the house and I start thinking about things. And, I am very, upset about what happened. But I do know that um, this anger, takes up a lot of my time. And it's not that I can help that. See, I think when the tragedy, when you are targeted or trafficked, is that they put you in isolation for long periods of time, and they create, what do you call it, um, tension and arguments among people because they're in some sort of competition, social competition, and so you're around a lot of negativity, a lot. And when you are around, if you are around people, then there are people that you don't really want to have a relationship with, or they put you in isolation. You know what I mean? Because they are in control of the situation, so they kind of put you wherever they want, which it ends up being very unhappy and miserable for the person who's a target or who's a victim of human trafficking. So during that time, I really didn't have anything to think about other than this situation. And even though, I have, I go to work and I come home but still, I mean, when it comes to having lasting impressions that go on in my mind, the only thing I have really is dealing with those flashbacks and everything, because I don't have like, a social life. I don't have a life outside of work. I don't do really anything. And I know that I should change up my routine. I definitely need to do that. But this is the result of it. So I know people think, well, gosh, you take this so seriously, or you think about it too much. I think about it a lot because I was in a situation where there was nothing else for me to think about. And and then when you are around other people, you always have to worry about whether they're, you know, somebody you can trust or whatever. So it prevents a lot of things that you want to do in life. That's one of the reasons why when they talk about a person who's a victim of human trafficking, gang stalking, these sort of crimes, um, and they are, it's a crime, and I can see why it's a crime, because it does really affect every aspect of a person's life, every single aspect of it. Financially, it harms your reputation with the slander campaign. It literally, it ruins like what I call like future relationships, because you're always going to be leery, and you're only going to let people get in close to you so far, okay? Because you just don't trust anyone. and it does affect a person's life, okay? And I understand that, and it affects it for the long term, because I'm sure there's people in this community and probably other communities, right? There's certain people who've been watching my videos who know that there was a lot of rumors, and that's all they were, rumors, that went on about me, and then there's certain people who probably believe these rumors. There's probably certain people who believe that, and none of it's true, that I wanted to get back with my ex husband, or they think that I want to do all these things that I have no intentions of doing. The only thing I intend to do or want to do is heal. You know what I mean? To get these negative, fucked up memories out of my head, because it's very disturbing, and I'm not comfortable with it. And I still struggle with this mental issue, because I realize how long it took, it went on, and how for many, 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 many years, and how much of my life was taken up by this horrible crime. It is a terrible crime, and I think I would have had a happier life had this never happened. I know that there were people who were behind it, who claimed up and down I would have never been able to do this, and this without them. Well, I don't believe that's true. Okay, number one, I've been a target, or I've been somebody who's been bullied by this certain group of people for a very long time. So they've always dominated and controlled basically every aspect of my life. Everybody I knew was like somehow or another associated with them. So they basically, manipulated employment, social situations, blah, 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 all the way down the line. So, I would have had a better life had I not have been born and raised in that family. And that's just how it is. And I would have been able to branch out, because I seriously did have the, what do you call it? I had everything that I needed in order to feel comfortable about doing that. And what I mean by that is, like, I never felt as though I was never going to be, I never felt like I was never going to be able to take care of myself. I always believed in myself, so I don't believe that, I don't. And I resent it terribly that I was trafficked for many years of my life. So anyway, I think about, what is it that I feel as though I need to do in order to make the best of what's left of my life, as a woman who is 51. Am I 51? Oh my goodness. Wait. Yes. Let me do the math. Yes, I am 51 years old. Amazing. Okay, I will be 52 in January. And I've always been a person who, a lot of people who I call, like, conservative type people, and a lot of women don't like talking about how old they are. I've never had a problem with it. I am going to be 52 years old, and throughout my life, and I understand how chaotic life is, so I try to do as much as I can to make my life a little better, make myself happy. I can't rely on other people to make me happy. I will say, and this sounds negative, but it's the absolute truth. I would say my experiences with people in life, they've never been able to make me happy. I've only been unhappy with people making choices for me, or associating or attaching themselves to me. I'm not comfortable with that, any of that. I feel as though I would prefer to welcome people into my life, instead of people just thinking that they want to jump on my life and be a part of it when I don't want them to. Anyway, so what else was I thinking about today? Oh yes. I'm very excited. Like I said, I did relook at my video that I started making a year ago. And, I was really critical of it at first, okay? And I still am critical of it, mainly because, I'm an amateur when it comes to making videos. And even though I'm an amateur, I still have to pat myself on the back, okay? And I do think that I could get better at this. I do have an interest in working with videos. I have an interest in a lot of different things, and I feel right now in my life that it's now or never, because I need to do things that I have never been able to do before. And it's really important that I live out the rest of my life um, pursuing whatever it is I need to, whatever that might be. And, I know that my perps, I think, the people that I went to school with and everything, I can't worry about what other people uh, want from me or expect from me, or I'm not interested in living my life for anyone else other than me. And if I was to be in some people get into these committed relationships where they think it's a noble thing to deny their themselves their own personal needs for the sake of another person. Now, I understand some of these relationships exist, but I don't believe that those are harmonious at all. I think it causes resentment down the line. I think people should be on the same level if they want to be in a relationship with each other. And then, even then, throughout the course of time, people change and they evolve and have different needs. And what they might find pleasing 10 years ago when you first met may be a completely different story, today or whatever. So I don't, I've always been an autonomous person, even though I've had people, attach themselves to me that were not welcome and not wanted. But I've always felt like I prefer the times by myself and doing things by myself, because I feel as though I have more energy behind it. I have more enthusiasm behind it because it's truly mine. I can't care about something that isn't something that is true from my heart, or coming from my insides, and giving my 100% all in it. And I think this is what a lot of insensitive people don't understand. They lack not just empathy and understanding how another person feels, but they also don't understand like the inner working of how a person's mind might work, and they don't understand how different everyone is. They think that they can command you to do something and then you're going to just do it. There's a lot of times where you're in situations where people have expectations of you and you cannot perform because for whatever reason you lack enthusiasm, you lack interest, you lack concern, and it's not something that you can change. You can't change that. It's just the wrong combination. It doesn't work. But anyway, uh, I I I like my ideas. I'm very interested in, how can I say this? I'm interested in, uh, I would say, an alternative living. Okay, and the reason why I say alternative living is not because I live alternatively because I'm doing it on purpose. A lot of it is circumstantial. Okay, but but a lot of it is something that I have come to appreciate, because I feel as though I feel safer. I feel safe away from people. I don't trust people. And I feel as though I need to be protected from people, swindlers, liars, hypocrites, religious freaks that act like they're religious, but they're really bloodthirsty and evil. I mean, there has been nothing but bad people in my life. I can honestly tell you that I have had no good people in my life. None. None. Okay? And so anybody who claims to be my great buddy, somebody who claims this, I don't believe, I don't recall anybody in my life never betraying me, or never fucking throwing me under the bus, or ever not trying to compete with me, or slander me, or when you're dealing with gang stalking, you'll find out how bloodthirsty, competitive, cutthroat, and evil people really are. You know what I mean? And I've come to know this, and I understand that, how easily it comes over people to behave this way. You know what I mean? And it's not. I'm not trying to start a fight or anything. I'm basically talking about people in general and what I've come to understand clearly about human nature and what people are, and why I understand that it's a wise thing to limit my time and my space with people, because I honestly think that the majority of people lack what's the word for it? Lack morals. They don't know. I have said this before, but most people really don't know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm not a goody two shoes, but I also know that these sort of people can cause a lot of harm and a lot of damage. So it's not arrogance that keeps me from like engaging in conversation with people. It's not arrogance that makes me not want to deal or associate with people, random people. It's the fact that I understand what people are capable of, okay? And I understand that, very few people take their time out to show interest in another person. If they are, they usually want something, okay? And I've learned the nature of people. And throughout the years, okay? And I'm really good at understanding how people are. So once you understand I understand how good people are. Like, what I mean by that is like, how good they're not is what I really mean. Like, and I understand what motivates people, and when you understand people the way that I do, it makes sense. Really, it does. I think that some people think that I am arrogant. No, I'm not arrogant. And I guess I've come to the realization that I like the way I live my life, okay? And I appreciate my lifestyle. And I choose to gravitate towards people who appreciate me for who I am. And it's not a good thing to associate with people who want you to be something that you're never going to be, and you're never going to like being, or you're not, and I hate the fact. I get so angry about the whole religious thing. I hate weak people. Weak people love to, impose their shit on other people. I cannot stand dealing with it. You know what I mean? And that's the sort of thing. I understand it exists in society. I understand that the world's not perfect, but I don't have to be inundated by it either. I don't have to sit here and like deal with people and their bullshit, and people telling me, that this is what a 50-year-old woman is supposed to act like. I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I can act any goddamn way I want to. You know what I mean? And I never asked anybody to show me my pathway, or I never asked you for your help. Keep your opinions to yourself. I'm very glad that I made the choices that I have in my life, and I don't regret that. The only thing I regret is, dealing with gang stalking. I regret not, understanding what was happening to me before. And I regret that. I regret knowing certain people. Everything that I have regrets and I mourn about doesn't have anything to do with me. Now, when I was younger, I did things I wasn't happy about. I made mistakes when I was younger, and I looked at those and I kept thinking, okay, I won't do those things again. So I changed that. And those things, I think that they affect you in a way to where you make those changes and you become a better person. Okay. That's how it motivates you and changes you. That's a positive thing. Okay. But it's still kind of negative because it's like, man, I was young, stupid, whatever. But, I regret, it's very unfortunate that I feel as though I had a very difficult life, and it didn't have to be difficult had I been in a different environment. You know what I mean? It was very unfortunate, that this is what happened to my life. And, I get very upset about that, because all my life I was painted out to be someone who was a bad person. And I think people wanted to believe I was a bad person. People wanted to believe I was a bad person because People are hateful and spiteful, and even though these people who were involved in my targeting, I mean, if you're going to talk about, and I am not somebody who is holier than thou, okay, but if you don't throw religion onto me like it's a moral issue. That's what makes me so angry. Like these people are what do you call it? Some of these people in this hate campaign against me, what do you call it? Like, for example, the girl who I believe was married to my husband, or she was either married to my husband, or she married the guy from my high school, or whatever. Okay, this is what I garner through my psychic senses or whatever. I don't know for sure. Okay, because I can't really tap in that well whether she did marry him or both, or I don't know. Okay, but I do believe something like that happened. Okay, if this was a religious issue, then she is somebody who broke apart somebody's marriage that she's supposed to look at as a holy union, okay? But yet she's a sinner in this situation. But yet she's going to tell me that my life is sinful. You see what I'm saying? Here's somebody who I got people who are participating in sex trafficking, and they're going to try to tell me that my life is immoral. You know what I mean? Don't fucking tell me shit, okay? Don't tell me how to live my life. I am so fucking tired of these people. And I don't ever want anybody inviting me to their church anymore. I simply don't want to hear it. Okay? It's not that I don't respect people's religious views, because I do. You know what I mean? And I think that religion is a very, or any form of spirituality. I just don't think people should trivialize it and use, their what do you call it? Launch hate campaigns in the name of God or anything like that. That shows a part of a person's character that's wrong. And when I think about it, and like I said, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I studied the Bible when I was younger. When you think about somebody denying a person a privilege until they submit to your religion, that goes right along the lines of like the mark of the beast. You know how they talk about like you're not going to be able to buy or sell anything unless you have this mark, or you're associated with this particular thing. If somebody's preventing you from getting a job, that's very much like that sort of deception that they talk about in the Bible, where they're introducing you into something, but they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're luring you in. Basically, you're selling your soul so you can have a job. It's evil. Okay, to me, if that was one of those things that you look at through a biblical standpoint, that looks completely demonic to me. You know what I mean? It looks majorly demonic. Anyway, so anyway, I wanted to come on here and make this video, because I can't release how I feel, and this is another issue when it comes to like the narcissistic behavior. I think that people around me think that I talk way too much about this issue, but this is an issue that is I'm talking lifelong pain inside of me, especially when I think about how long this has been going on. And for somebody to try to devalue that or minimize that, and which they probably would. They're going to be like, oh, just get over it. It's not something you can get over. It's not. I wish it were, but it's not, especially under the circumstances where people would prevent me from flourishing in my own life. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that I can't trust people, but it's kind of the best way I can protect myself too at the same time. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play back this video, and then I'm going to head to bed because I'm really getting tired. Got a lot to do tomorrow, and I hope all of you TIs out there are staying safe and getting your stories out there and talking. And I would like to very much get off of this targeted individual subject, because like I said, now I would say that my focus in life really is mainly on issues relating to the paranormal and also lifestyle philosophy. I think that this is where I find like extreme excitement. I do still study people, and I still analyze people, and I realize like I find these little experiments that I do very interesting, and I guess I'm what they call a silent observer, I enjoy that sort of stuff. So anyway, I do want to shift my direction into other things because I am very tired of talking about this subject, and I'm very disturbed by the lack of morals of people, and I'm very disturbed that, like, to me, this is like the most wicked thing that somebody could ever fucking do. It's just wrong, okay? And I can't tell you how just obnoxious people are, I could go on and on and on about my hatred, but you know what? I'm just gonna wrap it up and go to sleep, and that's the best thing for me. So I'm gonna say goodnight. I wish you all well, TIs, and stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.